Alright folks, welcome to another league with what I was calling Punish and Reclaimer before, but now, well, we're not playing Punish and Fire anymore. After the first league, basically I feel like Punish and Fire is just not a thing that you can be doing in Legacy and expect to do well. Like, you can only use Punish and Fire when, like, with something like what Strifo does, where he uses Dark Faden to kind of turn Punish and Fire into actual cards, but just Punish and Fire by itself, it's not a thing. Like, that's just not a thing that you can be doing in Legacy anymore and expect to be doing well. So we just got the P-Fire, which actually took a lot of strain off of our mana base, because we're not playing two like green-red terrible lands. So we're playing like one more basic and another Field of the Dead now. It's possible that the second Field of the Dead should be either another Taiga or another fetch land. That is definitely very, very possible. But we're still keeping on the red splash. I also cut the Loams from the previous list. I didn't really understand the point of having Loam in the first place. If we were playing like a Mox Diamond deck, Loam would make a little bit more sense, but it feels kind of awkward. And it kind of, in a couple of situations, it was awkward with Reclaimer, because I had to, like, you know, I wanted to get value for my Loam, so I was making Reclaimer 1/2 and susceptible to Lightning Bolt and stuff like that. It was kind of awkward. Anyway, so we're bringing in Klothys and we're bringing in Titania, however you say her name. And as far as the Cyber goes, we added Arasta for the Delver matchup, and we added Wasteland because of, well, depths and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, we're gonna see if this list plays a little bit better. Definitely excited to try out Klothys in the main deck. Honestly, I had forgotten that Klothys was a card, even though we did lose to it in one of the previous matches. But I just blanked on Klothys being something that we can sin it for, which is pretty insane. Force I use for lands, current decks, Taxes, Esper, even it's okay. TES, it's acceptable. Then there are random decks, but I get it if you don't want it. I mean, I was the one that put it in the deck in the first place, Reknot, so I understand what it's there for. It's just that I don't know if in this list I would play it, because I'm playing, like, you have to take the slots from this Pyroblast from somewhere, right? These three cards need to come from somewhere. If I were not splashing red, which is probably what I should be doing if I wanted to win, right? Like, if I wanted to just win, this is probably just like the better list, and I would definitely like to have Force of Vigors in this list, 100%. So definitely, like, I agree that it's a good card, and I understand what we're doing with it, but I feel like it's one of the cards that if I am going to be playing Pyroblast, that I think I should be cutting from my deck. You can only have so much space for any of those cards. Oh, for that type of effect, I mean. ¿Qué haces, Iván, querido? Yeah. Yeah! Yeah! Am I supposed to ship this? I kind of want to ship it. I guess I'll keep. Like, the hand is, like, it's just fine. Like, if this were a 6-card hand without the driver, I would keep it. It's just, ugh. The meme league will happen, damn it. Getting got. Turn 1 Delta into Ponder. So this could be some control deck. This could also be some combo deck. I think playing around Wasteland is reasonable. I think we're gonna get a lot more information here. We're gonna get to make a more educated decision. Will punishing fire be too much for modern nowadays? Well, I actually wrote an article about how I think that punishing fire would, out of all the cards, punishing fire would probably one of the safest unbans. That's kind of a sick draw. This allows me to interact and we still kind of have the engine rolling. And we also cannot get O-code, which is huge right now. And if my opponent's playing something like Pocky Pile or whatever, they can't bolt the oh. Baleful Strix? Tarmogoyf. Maybe my opponent is kind of like stuck in an alternate universe where Tarmogoyf is actually a playable Magic card in Legacy. That would be kind of exciting. I don't get to play with nearly enough Baleful Strix. Yeah, I know. What is my opponent? Opponent, what are you doing? Leovold. You got it. I am so confused about what's going on right now, particularly with my opponent's mana base. What the hell? We sack, we get Flagstones. We sack, we get Flagstones. Yeah, this is field. Yeah, because I guess if I play field, it doesn't lock my... It doesn't lock in me on my decision. I love how my 1-drops are just locking my opponent's 2 and 3 drops from doing anything whatsoever. Opponent, why are you playing 2 and 3 drops when you could just be playing 1 drops? I don't understand. What are you doing, OP? Let's get Plateau. Flagstones and do I care about the zombie? I think I care about the value more. I think I care about the value a little bit more. Let's get Valakut. Gonna take some damages. So I have a couple of options here. I can play Tracker. Oh, my opponent's tapping out. Oh, him to Torque. So playing Jund? What's going on? What the hell is going on right now? I have... Okay. We're gonna get driving up here. They have Force. Okay. Force between force. So yeah, I saw the new pod. It's obviously I don't think it's great, but it maybe we'll see modern play. The big ones that I'm thinking that where I might see play are goblins and okay, goblins and um, elementals. I think elementals could be pretty interesting. Probably not gonna be insane though. Okay, so I think I'm going to start the turn by attacking my Elked Reclaimer into Oko. Then we can do this. My opponent has a force, they have to use it. They do have the force. Pichinoko. Sack for field. And this is creature, land, sorcery. So that makes Goif a 3/4. So I guess bogging doesn't really achieve anything. Can't bog. Now if we bogas, yeah, I guess that would have worked actually. Yeah, you're right. And the problem is if we bogas, then reclaim ramming up doesn't do anything. And ramming up right now would be kind of game breaking for my opponent because we just get the second field and we just go off. Sure. So let's just draw a card in response so we can grow the tracker and make it a 4/4. I guess we still have a Suva, so we're still fine. What's up, Hatelex? LOL. So you get to draw a card. White, 1, discard. Just exile the Goif, swing for lethal. pretty easy. Good stuff, good stuff. How's it going? It's going great. We're getting to play Legacy Reclaimer. This I think that this might just be my favorite thing to do in Magic right now. This might simply be my favorite thing to do, like straight up. Regardless of formats, regardless of like decks, this might be my best, my favorite deck to play in a format. I think I enjoy playing Legacy more than Modern today. No, play Reclaimer in Legacy. Play this specific deck in the, I guess not this specific, like with red and stuff, but like playing green-white Reclaimer in Legacy is probably my favorite thing to do. I guess we can cut a Wasteland. We don't need to add it. Like the games are gonna go long, so I feel like cutting the land is not the worst because, well, again, games are gonna go long, so cards like this are probably gonna shine. What was my first competitive deck? That's a good question. So the first deck I built in Modern, like the first format that I started playing was, I think it was actually Modern, but I was doing two things. I was playing Modern and Standard kind of simultaneously. And the first deck that I built was the Mono Black control deck. The Mono Black, I guess just Mono Black deck period, right? Like the one in Theros. The one that played Pack Rat and like Great Merchant, like all that stuff. Like that was the first standard deck that I owned. So my opponent has forces, so maybe I don't want to keep this hand. This hand seems a lot better. Let's go. So yeah, so that was my very first deck. And then back when I started playing, the cheapest Modern deck were Storm and Burn. So I think that my very first Modern deck was Storm. But I don't think I ever... The first deck that I actually played at FNM that was Modern was Burn. Because I built Storm because it was super cheap, but I never got to play it on FNM. And then I built... I guess that I'm probably going to be sacking this forest, so I should get that one. And then I built Burn, and I went to 1 FNM with Burn. 1 FNM. Drop. Kriegassen. I was thinking that I was going to play my own library, but it's just too good to pass up. When did I say Titan is my thing? It's a good question, actually. I will tell you the story in a second. I'm trying to think whether I should attack or not. I think we're getting plateau. So they could have exactly the snake, but I don't know if they have the snake or not. I guess I'm not gonna attack. It's just not worth it. Like, it feels like this is doing so much work right here. And I'm playing the library instead of the scavenging ooze because it means that if my opponent answers the spirit in order to get value from the library this turn, then I'm gonna get value from my library on my turn. So I feel like this is gonna be the better outcome. Even like if they sweep, we even get to get value before they do, which is nice. Yeah, I honestly, with my opponent's mana base being like straight up 4 colors, I think that they just don't play the snake. Like, they just don't play the snake at all. But they might have a sweeper here. They might have like Toxic Deluge, which they do. Remember when I played library instead of my use? Remember when that happened, chat? Opponent chose to not shuffle. That's just incredible. So let's start with this, see what my opponent does. Nothing happened, so I'm just gonna play the top land and say go. Yeah, obviously, that's the easiest 8-8 ever. Oh man. Opponent found the push. Spirit is just so good right now in Legacy. As long as this is no Oko, yeah, that's fine. Zenith. Ref's not looking great here, huh? We have a couple of options. I think I am going to hold on to one of these Rudimental Blasts. And I think I'm actually going to shuffle with this Zenith. So, bottom, put this on top, put this on top. I wish I could pay for that, but I don't think I can. So we're going to play Scavenging Ooze. And it's very important for us to eat both of these spirits, because the spirits are what are keeping the Goyf at 5/6. And next turn, Scavenging Ooze is going to outgrow the Goyf. What the heck is this deck? You mean my opponent's or you mean mine? Because both of them are valid questions. Both of them are valid questions. Opponents? It's just like a 4-color mid-range deck. Mid-range / control. It doesn't seem good. It seems like a little bit too all over the place. And it doesn't seem to be playing like the snow synergies. Like, they're just playing like a bunch of duels. I'm really tempted to just counter this. I think I'm going to. Thank you for that follow, Jax. Appreciate it. Gonna take 4. Yeah, my opponent can't attack. Coward. Definitely like the land, so we're gonna pay 4. So let's put this on top. Oh, we could go get Reclaimer. If we... No, because then we shuffle the Dryad away and I kind of want the Dryad. Okay, so let's put this on top and then we're going to pay life. And what we're going to do is we're going to play Tracker. I guess I should have attacked first, actually. They had a bolt. It's kind of fine. So we have a Zenith on top. So I can crack this clue and draw the Zenith. That doesn't really do anything. Do I attack is the question. If I attack, I can bring my opponent down to 2. Yeah, I think I want to attack. Because then we go up to 10, and this Goif just doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think we definitely attack. And we just exile all 3 of my dudes. So even if they draw Oko like legit doesn't matter, and we have lethal next turn because we can use the Zenith on top of our deck to we can use the Zenith on top of our deck to go with Dread Arbor. This is just enough. So I think we got him. Maybe they can get 2 cards here? Are there any 2, like Abrupt Decay, I guess? They pay life. Alright. Down to 1. Okay. Opponent successfully entered desperation mode. So at this point, Force of Will doesn't do anything. And we're gonna get to attack first. See if my opponent does anything, then we play Dryad and we just kill them. So we're officially in a good spot. I'm gonna go ahead and call this a good spot. These Spirits of the Labyrinth, though, they did some work. They did some work. Imagine if my opponent weren't just forced to push that Spirit, and they had saved the push for the Scavengers that ended up taking over. Dread and Sending Forever is yes, exactly. If they play land, then they can hardcast Force, and then they lose to the onboard Scavengers. So I think that they're just locked. Checkmate, opponent. Checkmate. What's up, Scott? We're playing a superior format, indeed. Let me get my monocle so I can play Legacy properly, you know? The good thing about my opponent tanking so hard on this is that I get to finish my wrap. So cheers to you folks. I wish that, you know, we could have like a reveal hand function in Magic Online for spots like this one. So I can just, you know, reveal to my opponent that they are dead. I'm gonna give them the lag test. No, we're not lagging. Okay. So they have one card in hand and they are completely tapped out. So this is officially just them being dead. Pew! Boom. Got him. Balaka too strong. Too strong. The Titan thing. Okay. So I had just started playing Magic, okay? So I had played Magic when I was a kid, but I hadn't like at this point I just had not played Magic in like almost 10 years since the last time I held Magic cards in my hands. So, this is Pro Tour Born of the Gods. That's the one that Sean McLaren won. Am I keeping this? Yeah, I guess I'm keeping this. So, Pro Tour Born of the Gods had happened like the previous week, and I didn't know because I was new. I didn't even know what formats were. So I have just learned that there's this format that's called Modern. Back in my house, I would say, back in my town, we just played Extended, but we just played Extended because people didn't have the cards to play Standard. Like it was just a necessity. Like I didn't know that I was playing Extended, but we were playing Extended basically is what I'm trying to say. So that's what's going on there. And I finally learned that Modern is a thing. Like I learned that Modern is actually a format. So I look and I start watching YouTube videos about Modern. So this Modern Pro Tour has just happened. So I'm basically just like just going online and just basically spending every second just watching Modern content. Like I'm kind of obsessed at this point. And what ends up happening is I am watching round number 7, I think, of Pro Tour Born of the Gods. And what happens there is in the backup feature match, they are showing a match. They're showing a match of Matthias Hunt. Matthias Hunt is playing against a control deck. I don't know the name of the other player, but they are playing against the control deck. So what happens is Matthias casts a Primeval Titan, and then his opponent mana leaks. And he has like, I think 1 mana available or 2 mana available. And then Matthias exiles a Simian Spirit Guide to pay for the mana leak, and the Primeval Titan resolves. And that was just like the first thing that I had seen, and I'm completely blown away. And I'm like, that's absolutely ridiculous. That literally happens as soon as I play the video, basically. So as soon as I press play, that is what happens, and I am like, holy shit, what is this? This is incredible. And then I Google it, and I figure out that that is a deck called Amulet Bloom. Matthias then proceeds to do an insane amount of nonsense. Like he goes ahead and he fetches for like Tolaria West and some other stuff. He then transmutes, and I'm like, what is going on right now? This is incredible. I want to do this and nothing else for the rest of my life. And that is when it happened. This handsome man is playing a 2/4 naked man as the opponent plays a 1. Yeah, exactly. I think we're fine, just say, but I'm not too sure at this point. We might be breaking a rule here or there. Great story. Thank you. Thank you. I think I'm supposed to make counters here, and then I'm supposed to play this, and then I'm supposed to wasteland the green source. I'm trading. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, precisely. You do keep the counters. That's why I guess I should have held on to this. That was a mistake. Yeah, because I haven't played my tracker yet. Yeah, sure. I should have definitely held on to this. I guess that the reason to not hold on to this is in case. I guess I can't attack. Oh fuck. It's in case I draw Field of the Dead, but so they're going to give me the food and draw 2 cards. But if I attack, we just lose because they elk the food and we die. So yeah, we're probably just dead here. We could draw exactly Titania. We could draw exactly Titania. Also, my opponent just punted. So if we draw exactly Titania, I think I like calling her Titania instead of Titania. They could have Hardcast Force though. Zenith or Titania. Not quite. Well, I'm dead now. Okay. Pyroblast actually sounds very, very good in this matchup. Could play Spirit of the Labyrinth. I don't think I want it though. Oof is irrelevant. Yeah, if I wanted to play around the Thopter making thing, I would probably play Knight, but we're already playing 3 apparitions, so we do have answers to that. But yeah, they're definitely playing that. But I don't think I would play Collector Roof. If I wanted an answer to that, I would play Knight of Autumn instead. Because Collector Roof is only a temporary answer. Your opponent then just elks this, and then their thing gets unlocked. Like it's just not very good. I'd rather answer it in a deterministic fashion instead. But I think on the play, I'm not too worried about that thing. Maybe on the draw when my opponent can play that on turn 1 and kind of ride it to victory. But if that's what they're doing on turn 1, then I'm probably going to have access to... I'm going to be able to progress my game plan instead. I don't think I like Tabernacle against this kind of like Wasteland decks. We are not like a land-style Tabernacle deck, right? Like we are... Like, we play Knuckle because we can more than anything. So, we're definitely going to get Savannah on 1. And I think I'm going to go for Dried Arbor here. So next turn we can Plow plus Reclaimer. Oh, we don't just lose the game if my opponent has a Wasteland. Fatal Push, you got it. But yeah, that's it's a little bit more complicated for us. That's kind of awkward. I think it's too important for us to get a Reclaimer going. blocks. Land, please. Land, please. Land, please. Thank you. I guess it's possible I should have plowed this instead. I guess it didn't matter, but force, pitching force. Okay. But you see the issue, right? Like, we sack one of these, we go with Tabernacle, then like we are down 2 mana here. It's not the best proposition, you know? Oko is pretty fucking brutal. Oko is just so disgusting right here. Fuck, man. Ugh. Fuck Oko, man. So they're gonna get to draw another card here. Next turn I'm probably gonna have to apparition this guy. Oh shit. Because they draw 2 cards now. Can we draw a green or a white source? Okay, so we're just gonna have to hope that this sticks. So they're gonna need to draw 4 cards here? It's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. I understand why people play this ninja deck. Like, this looks like so much fun. It's crazy. I'm not sure how good it actually is, but it does look like a hilarious amount of fun. I mean, I guess if they don't have an answer for the Dryad, and we draw a land, preferably a fetch land. It's impossible for them to not have an answer though. Fuck. Elk the Dryad, Elk the Dryad, Elk the Dryad, do it! No, damn it, they elked the right one. Fuck. Do you not get apparition because you're looking to sweep? Because if I get to untap this and I draw a land, we actually have a shot at winning, right? Because I get to trigger Dryad with Valakut multiple times. So the reason was this is the highest upside play that actually allows me to win this game. If I use this turn, I could have only played apparition. If I had had either another white source or I had had a green source, then I would have considered playing apparition plus reclaimer to answer the you recall. In fact, that would have been the correct line. But since I could only either apparition or reclaimer, I think this is a lot better because it actually allows for a set of circumstances to happen that allow me to actually win the game. Which is not really the case otherwise. This is my first time losing to this deck. I played against this deck like 4 times, maybe 5. And and I beat it every time, but this time around it actually looked good. Very often it just rolls over and dies, so not too impressive. My opponent says, just a heads up, I'm not a scrub. MTGO just has a glitch with UG Infiltrator that randomizes the top card occasionally. Wow, that's so random. So you choose which cards you put on top, but then that just doesn't do it? Or are you just memeing me? I don't know if my opponent's just being like sarcastic. I don't know if my opponent's just being sarcastic or no. They say that they're serious. That really sucks. They're gonna decay. Okay. Wow. Wow. My opponent gave me the out. Imagine if one of my cards in hand, like if my cards in hand are Valakut plus Skyclave Apparition, we actually just win this game. If they have another Yuriko, we lose, obviously. But I mean, we can just lose regardless. Valakut off the top. Let's go. Oh, man. Never mind. No Valakut off the top. All right, GG's opponent. Can you add an exclamation point qualify that with things to say? Yeah, I think you just have to say, I think anybody can do it. You have to do add a quote, and then you just write exclamation point, add a quote, and then you just write whatever quote you want. Stuff. Yep. It actually works. The magic of MTG bot. Honestly, MTG bot is kind of great. If it weren't because every update something doesn't work, like every MTG update, like sometimes things don't quite work as intended. But if it weren't because of that, MTG bot is actually a great tool. It works with a space in between the flag and the command, which is kind of wild. Yep. It's a great piece of whatever that is. many that have something to do with the rejects with which it was coded. Yeah. You're just saying words right now. You're just saying words, showing off your degree in front of my ignorant self. MTG is a pretty incredible free community. Yeah, exactly. Like the fact that it's free, like, and anybody can use it, it's just so awesome. There's no way my opponent forces a once upon a time. That's just not a thing that's gonna happen, so. Well then, friend, I wanted to see your reclaimer list with punishing fire, grooving it. Oh, I changed. The first league was with it. I guess I did get you. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, it was a thing. It was a thing in the first league, and I thought it was so bad that I just cut it. So I guess I'm going to. Let's change the title to Naya Reclaimer instead. Yeah, I think that it's possible that we spoke too highly of MTG bot and just couldn't, it just couldn't hold the pressure, and he got. Yeah. A little bit too much pressure for MTG bot, and well, if one forces once upon a time, we're gonna rip the forest off the top. That'd be fun. Go nuts. If this is something like stacks, this matchup tends to be... I think I faced this matchup like once or twice. And to say that it's very good for us would be an understatement. You want to make me sack? Opponent, do you want to make me sack a land? Is that something? Oh, no, this is... Oh, okay, we got played. This is Rainbow Depths. Pivot! Pivot! It's Rainbow Depths. Pivot! Reclaimer of the top? Nope. That's okay though. We're gonna once upon a time next turn. Think this is fine? Once upon a time is basically a reclaimer. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say here. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. We could also find Caracas here. I think I'm gonna let this go because they probably want to take my ramen up. Called it. What are we gonna find? Thalia, Titania, Klothys. So Klothys is actually pretty interesting. Klothys is actually pretty interesting because it gets us out of range. It gets us out of range of one attack. I think I'm going to go with Titania because it's a faster clock. But Klothys was definitely interesting. And also that's a pretty good draw. Okay. What's the play here, chat? What is the play? I think I'm supposed to force my opponent to go for it, right? Do nothing? The problem if I let it go is my opponent takes the swords and then they get the upper hand. I guess that in order to, yeah, okay, I think that we'll let this go because in order to get the upper hand, they don't have a thespian stage anymore. So I guess it does make sense. Also, it's kind of funny because they copied Wasteland, which means that any land would be great. Or that is, I guess it's also fine. So we can't really play Titania just yet. That is hilarious. So now they name Wasteland and they actually cannot use... They can't stop... That is super funny. Yeah, exactly. Their stage is a wasteland, so they actually cannot... If they name Wasteland, they actually are not going to be able to combo, which is really funny. So they can't name Wasteland. Yeah. This is so funny. So now we actually, even if we don't draw land, I'm fine just playing out this Titania here. Oh, the rest? Okay, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, Titania, we're gonna get to Titania here. We're gonna get a couple of 5/3s, and then we're gonna be able to take it from there. That is super, super funny. Actually, can we set up lethal here? We attack for 2. We attack for 2. Yeah, I guess we make a 5/3 with this land. We can make another 5/3, which plays around Abrupt Decay. I guess that we attack first. Let's attack first because if they Abrupt Decay, that causes them a life, which means that the 2 5/3s are gonna be enough. But I think I'd rather hold up Caracas, right? So yeah. Yeah, so I think we're just fine. Like, this is just game now. Titania just casually comes down and represents, you know, just like 10 power. Don't worry about it. STP into Caracas. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's not like we have an emote for how whitelisted I am. So don't worry. We can get Dryad Arbor. Let's fucking go. My opponent has successfully learned something. I mean, I guess... What if they have... What's his name? Do I just lose here? If they have Not of This World, do I just lose here? They totally have Not of This World. I think I'm just gonna lose. Yep. Shit, I guess we lose. And I could have played around this, right? The way to play around this would have been to main phase the Skyclave apparition. 5, 6, 7, 8, down to 2. Ivan with a tier 1 sub. 18 months now. Thank you so much, Ivan. Welcome back. Alright. I guess I got played. I guess I got. So the way to to play around this would have been to like start the turn by using apparition. Now we take 20. All right, I deserve to lose that one. This is good. Oh shit, we have like nothing for this matchup. We have actual nothing for this matchup. They just get to make it in response. If I lead with apparition, yeah, I guess I do it in response. So I guess I punted actually, right? Because I could have done things differently just so I could make 2 tokens instead of just 1. So the punt was on the previous turn. I could have played Caracas first, then cast the Titania, and we could have made 2 5/3s. So that was my mistake. That's where I fucked up. That's where I fucked up. Yeah, I'm definitely beginning Narasta. Do we like Klothys? I don't think we like Klothys. Scavenging Ooze also kind of sucks, so I guess Klothys is better than Scavenging Ooze. And another apparition? Not really. We have a lot of bad cards though. Just love calling an opponent the idiot when I'm the idiot. Yeah, exactly. It's always the highest EV play to be an idiot. Does make him Reclaimer 3/4 matter? It doesn't, I don't think. So I'd rather hold on to this because of I might want to do something different later. Miss Paper Magic, yeah. I think we all do. I think we all do. Couldn't really get to the online. I think the online is fine. Social aspect is what get me. Like, that's why I stream. So I'm hanging out with people through the magic of the internet. At least I get to hang out with folks. So I think I'm gonna get another Reclaimer here. The reason for doing that is not only to develop my board, but also because I'm planning to apparition this, and then when that happens, I can basically turbo everything out. I don't think that this, without Reclaimer being active, I don't think there's anything else I'm interested in doing. My plan goes out the window. Wasteland? It's not the worst, I guess. We're gonna go get Dry Diver to maximize the clock. So if I find something that goes to the yard, like another fetch or a wasteland, this is 7, 8, 9, so this is a 2-turn clock. So my opponent has 1 turn to combo off. Or they need to find some answers to my Reclaimers. I guess they could like go get Bog or something like that. Good old Reclaimer beating the fuck down. Mini Goif, Mini Goif. How did they play around Pineal? They crop rotation and sacrifice the Wasteland Thespian stage to go get another Thespian stage. Maze of Ith, but Juka Bog. All right. We still got him on a 3-turn clock. And they use the crop rotation. Hardcast Simeon. Hardcast Elvish Spirit Guide. Let's go. Oh no, they just get to combo off here. Playing our own Wasteland. Okay. So we have to draw either Caracas or Swords to Plowshares. That's neither Caracas nor Swords to Plowshares, so we're just going to concede the game. Nope. 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 Feels bad, man. I think one thing that went really underestimated on the first game is how I basically time walked myself on turn 2. Like I played Flagstones on 1 because my opponent went turn 1 Thoughtseize into Thoughtseize off of Urborg, and I assumed that they were on the small box deck, like mono black box. So I laid on Flagstones of Trocare in order to play around my opponent having small box. But then when they showed me that they were playing Depths, then I had to play the Wasteland on turn 2 just to not get comboed out on turn 3. And that meant that I cast my Once Upon a Time one turn late, and then I cast my Dryad one turn late, and then I cast my stuff. Everything was just done with one turn delay, and my opponent ended up winning with that one turn. It also was the fact that I just fucked up, right? Like I could have presented lethal things to Titania, and I just didn't. And I just got cocky, and I assumed that the Caracas was gonna be enough to get him, but that just wasn't the case. Like I just definitely threw the game away. But that is something that I wanted to point out, like a slight little edge that my opponent got by me basically just hedging against the wrong deck, like assuming that my opponent was playing a deck that they weren't playing. Punishing didn't work. No, Punishing Fire is just not a good card, I don't think. Not anymore. I think I'm gonna bottom the Dryad with this hand. Dryad is like the card that requires more pieces here. This deck again? God damn it. Alright. Hashtag whitelisted, etc. Wow! Wow! Opponent confirmed not ghosting. So with 2 they create a servo, then for 1 they make a Thopter, and then they tap Thopter to create a 4/4. So I'm just gonna play Thalia. And I'm gonna play Thalia here so I can Thalia right now, next turn waste their value and activate Reclaimer. I don't think I'm gonna lose to this thing, to this card. Okay. It's a weird attack. But whatever. Did I get to play Summer Bloom? I did. I did get to play Summer Bloom. And all I can say is that it's as beautiful as you would expect it to be. Chose to not shuffle. Okay. Yeah, I want to wasteland them. So now they're gonna turn the Thopter into a 4/4, which doesn't really matter. In fact, it's possible they might have wanted to turn the other one into a 4/4. Flagstones. Play a land. Pass the turn. Like if they bring these dudes to the ground, that's where my zombies win. Servo doesn't do anything, so we're gonna take 4 again. Kind of seemed better for my opponent to. Like, they have to do exactly Fatal Push at this point. Flagstones. So let's do this now so we get the Zombos rolling. Get them Zombos. Sack this. Get a forest. More zombies. Now we appreciate the foundry. They force it? Wow, that's so good for us. Like, at this point, it just doesn't matter, right? Like, this card just doesn't matter. Like, the zombies are just completely gonna destroy the stupid constructs. Long live the zombies. Yeah, for real, right? Like, it's just, yeah. This is not gonna outgrind this one. Anyway, this ninja deck again. Brought this in, we brought this one in, cut that one. Cut this one, Klothys seems okay. Make that switch. Thalia and oof. Spirit of the Labyrinth is also interesting. Maybe I should be playing it. Yeah, maybe I should be playing Spirit of the Labyrinth over Scavenging Ooze. Why is everybody playing? I have no idea. Honestly, it hasn't really felt that good to me. Here, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take it easy. I don't think I can afford to use this Zenith to get a Dried Arbor. We're gonna need Reclaimer, just more impactful. Oh, they can sack this to make it 4/4, which is a super cute interaction. I love that, yeah. So I would love to draw a Reclaimer. That's probably your best draw. Plow. Yeah, okay, Plow's cool. Yeah. They go for it. So this basically represents weakness in my eyes, so I'm just gonna do this right now. We might get dazed or forced. It's fine, like regardless. Yeah, this is just great for us. We got a 2-for-1 over something that I honestly didn't really care too much about. Sweet. It's good, I guess so. Let's get a plateau. We do have red cards in the deck. Wait, Wait, that quote actually does work? That's so weird. Another retrofuter foundry. Alright, that speeds up the process. That means that they're going to be able to make a construct this turn. Wait. Why did they not make another 4/4? Let's keep killing them as painfully as possible. That's a good one. Ornithopter. Okay. Opponent's making weird attacks. Missed out on a point of damage for no reason. Another reclaimer. Oh, they have Oko too? Damn it. Well, that's lethal now. Yeah, we were fine anti-loco. That sucks. Anyway. Do I want the Knackle? We're fine anti-loco since the theme. Yeah. I mean, that's basically the format, right? This is we are fine anti-loco.format. Pretty much. So this reclaimer is gonna get pushed. That's fine. Oh, well, that's better. Sweet. We're fine anti-loco got printed. Yeah, that's a pretty fair assessment right there. What's up, Magnus? How's it going? They pitched an Oko, so I assume that they have another one in hand. They chose to not shuffle. If they do this, I'm gonna plow. They can force this. Beaching another Oko, as I was saying. White, green, 1. So we're gonna make it 4-3 here. Do you think there's value in not preparing coming to modern reclaimer list? Nope. I don't think so. Like it's a card that you can play. Do I think that you're making the deck better? No, I actually think you would be making the deck worse, but it's a card that you can play. I guess I'm gonna be killing this regardless, so let's do that right now. Maybe we run into Piers. I don't think they have Piers though. And they for sure have Force of Negation, so we play our own Force of Negation here. But this makes it allows me to attack. It's pretty sick. Very good draw. So that probably means that they don't have the Force. Or they have an Abrupt Decay. Yep. Trophy, the Abrupt Decay, whatever. The thing is that, like, we still have a 2 turn clock, right? So. And I think I'm saving this one up for Oko specifically. Seems like the only card that could actually potentially get my opponent back in the game. J Barrett's 92, thank you for the follow. Even when it dodges moss removal, it's a card that does nothing by itself unless you have something else, right? You already have Dried if you want that effect. And whenever you ask whether you should be playing a card or not, you should ask yourself which card you're cutting for it and why that card is better than the other one. I guess actually if they have Oko, they lose, right? So I guess I'm actually going to Apparition here. And I'm going to Apparition the Ornithopter because this one cannot block, so. Just keep losing when my Dryad gets blown up while trying to throw fire at people's faces. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of what it is, Magnus. Like, I mean, try it out. I think it's going to be bad. Is Naya Reclaimer strictly better than Sultai Titan Dryad? So I don't think there's anything that I hate when comparing decks that are doing completely different things. I don't think that there's a phrase that I hate more than strictly better. Strictly better is very, very, very rarely the case. When you're comparing two competitive decks, right? Like, for example, if you're comparing Delver to, like, I don't know, like Sue, right? Like, which are both like aggressive decks that, like, yes, Delver is like strictly better Sue in Legacy, that is, right? So that is a different thing. But when you're comparing decks that are doing significantly different things, like, there's no Chalices of the Void here, right? There's no Primeval Titans in this list, although they were Primeval Titans in other lists. So like it's like comparing this deck. Like, the only thing that they have in common is they're playing Green Sun Zenith. Like, that's it. Maybe I don't know what like the Sultai decks are playing nowadays. Maybe they're playing once upon a time. Maybe they are. Maybe they aren't. I don't know. I'm not familiar with those lists because I haven't seen one in a really long time. But to answer your question, no, they are not. It is not strictly better. Apples and oranges. Yeah, it's just they're different decks, right? Like, they're trying to do different things and they're doing those things in different ways. There are no prison decks here. There's no Chalice of the Void. There's no Trinisphere. I think that those decks were playing Trinisphere at some point. There's no Ancient Tomb here, for example. It is a card that I actually tried in multiple of my lists, and it just wasn't doing. It just wasn't making the cut. It wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So I just ended up cutting it because it just didn't feel good in this shell. It's the same as comparing this deck to Maverick. It's just completely different deck. So I have not seen the Titan Dryad deck in a long time, so I don't know whether that deck is playable anymore. This one, I think it is playable, and in fact, I think it's kind of good. I think I'm gonna ship this hand because we have the Bojuka Bog. This hand is a lot better. So we're gonna keep this. What do we bottom though? Caracas? I think so. Paration and Plow seem better than the black cards that you would get by playing a back version of this list. That's what you were getting at. I think that the question was more about... I know, it's just like they're trying to do different things with different angles of attack, right? So comparing them, it's kind of futile. One Mirroring Crusader would be amazing against Oko decks. Is this Infect? It might be Infect. The problem that I have with a card like Mirroring Crusader is that I can't Zenith for it, and also I don't think I need help against the Oko decks. If anything, I need help against Delver, and Delver just bolts the Mirroring Crusader, so not too useful. Well, that sucks for me. Can you imagine if they have Stifle? That would be brutal. I think I need to get a hit on mana. Because my opponent's getting a hit on cards at this point. Hopefully this Once Upon a Time finds me a Dryad. That'd be great. Foothills is just Infect. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. Unclear based on what they've shown me. They didn't draw 3. So does that mean that their hand is the nuts? It could be some form of bug mid-range. Now I'm thinking that it's just Infect. And now I'm pretty sure that it's Infect. Probably safe to assume that it's Infect at this point, huh? 95% that it's Infect. Yeah, okay, I will take those odds. I will definitely take those odds. Boy, I would love to see a Plow. No Plow. Can I apparition you, please? Wait, what? That just like snap resolved? Dope. Have you ever felt like you wanted a mace in the deck? Good question. Yes, of course, like always. Like you can always basically find extremely narrow scenarios for wanting cards that you might probably not want in the actual deck, right? The issue that I have with mace is that it doesn't tap for mana. And every land that you put in your deck that doesn't tap for mana has the same issue, and that issue is that it doesn't tap for mana. This deck really struggles with that. Like you really want to make sure that that whichever land you're playing actually taps for mana, because the deck is super mana hungry. Because technically I should have found the plateau there. But yeah, you can find scenarios for wanting Mace in the deck. You can find scenarios for wanting Knuckle. You can find scenarios for wanting pretty much any card that you could think of, really. So Thalia is the best card here? This is the only one that allows me to mildly disrupt what my opponent's doing out there. Anything taps mana if you have it dried out. That's true. That is true. Feeling kind of dead here. Feeling kind of dead. Maybe Thalia gives me enough, but I'm not really feeling it, unfortunately. Like, for example, Blast Zone would have been fine here, right? Like, again, like you can find scenarios for basically any card. Watch out for Berserk. Yeah, I know what the combo is, but there's nothing I can do to stop it, right? But my opponent doesn't know that. Like, they don't know that I don't have a Source to Plowshares. It's kind of interesting that they wouldn't... Like, if they have to cantrip into the kill, I think that we might be fine. But if they just have the kill, then we're probably fucked. I'm surprised that, like, almost regardless of what their top cards are, that they wouldn't just library for at least one more card, because... Like, there's not going to be an next turn, right? Crop rotation. For Pendelhaven? Okay. That's 3. That's it? Alright, sweet. Cool. So this matters, these matter, and this one matters. Collect Roof can go, Library can... Guess I'm gonna cut 1. Scavenge Units can go, Bulk can go. Deafening Silence is actually kind of interesting against Infect, in my experience, because it means that if they pump, they cannot protect their dude, which makes them a little bit more likely to get gut. So I think I'm gonna bring in a couple of Deafening Silences. This is a cool card. This is how sideboard cards should be designed, you know? Just like super cheap, doing something super narrow, but extremely, extremely impactful. OLM with the 2-1 sub. Welcome back for the 10 months. Really appreciate it, ULM. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold. Alright, this hand's legit. I think I'm gonna bottom the apparition. It's gonna be pretty bad if my opponent goes... If they go like... Okay, so I think I'm going to go get a Dreadiver. This is bad if my opponent has Noble Hierarch, because I'm not going to be able to block, but it's pretty good overall. Otherwise, I mean... Thanks, Julian. Really appreciate it. Hey, Mamwa. Chillin'. Just 2-3 leagues left and right with Naya Reclaimer. Deck has been a lot of fun though. I'm still not sold on the red splash. It's probably not worth it. It's most likely not worth it. That means that we can't really block. That's fine though. Let's plow here. And plateau. Seen it for 1. If we get dazed, this is fine. That puts my opponent a little bit behind, and then that also uses one of their cards. And in this kind of matchup, I don't mind so much. Yeah, like look at that, my opponent's just pondering now. Like in this kind of matchup, I don't mind so much getting dazed. If my opponent is not ahead on the board. If they are ahead on board, that's when, obviously that's when daze really is at its best, right? So, Wasteland. Sure. This is very bad if they have Crop Rot, but I think it's worth it. They don't have Crop Rot, sweet. But with my opponent being pondering there, I just feel like going after their lands is probably where we want to be. Got the plow for that one. Now if they have another one, that's when we start getting worried. Yikes. Yeah, that's the worst possible outcome, obviously, right? My opponent has a way to not be behind on mana and cast their blue spells while at the same time they played a threat. That sucks. That sucks. Now, that basically undoes our entire plan, right? Okay. Okay. Okay, so I guess that Infect is like always playing Oko now. So maybe I shouldn't just think about Infect as a combo deck anymore, and I should just think about it as more of a mid-range deck, I guess. Okay, weird way to tap. And also not activating Pendelhaven. All right. I guess we do this right now. Because they can activate and they can protect it with like a Blossoming Defense or something like that. But like that's damage that I'm not taking. So that's probably fine. And like the food can't really attack, right? Because in fact, they should probably just like swap and give me the food. So, because they are effectively wastelanding me when they do that. Savannah. Probably splashing for plow. Is Titania as good as it seems in this deck? It's been pretty good, yeah. It's been solid. I've been happy with Titania. Again, they don't activate Pendelhaven. Like, that one has to be a mistake. Oh, they just have it. Never mind. Okay, so I think I don't want Deafening Silences. And... on the play, let's bring in the library. And I guess an Arasta? Yeah, we can't really keep this. Hell yeah, we can keep this one though. Boom. 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 Don't force me, bro. Don't. I asked politely. Come on, opponent. Come on. We're gonna see what they do here. If they play Novel, I think I don't waste them. But if they play like a cantrip, I think I do. If they play Glisten or Elf, that's an interesting question. Terrible draw. I think I have to waste them. I think I have to waste them and hope that they just... yeah, this is the worst case scenario. But the problem is that we get punished by many things here otherwise. Yeah, this is not working out nicely. Pretty unfortunate. How much is the playset of Reclaimers in the US roughly? In terms of paper or in... Paper or MTGO? Yeah, this draw is just not coming together, unfortunately, for us. Hopefully their protection spell is not Daze or Force of Will. And it's something like Blossoming Defense or whatever. Okay, so they're looking for the Force / whatever. But yeah, I think in paper they're like $4. Yeah, $5. There you go. Yeah, if you use my link, you get some really great value. Something good, please. Or another land, that's also fine. It's also cool. Don't worry about it. Another land is also cool. What's up, Dia? 20 months! 20 months supporting the Primetime Stronghold. Thank you so much, Dia. Always happy to see you. Am I dead here? I'm dead. We even brought the... Yeah. Spells would have been great to draw. Even Wasteland would have been great, because Invigorate can only be cast for the alternate cost if you control the forest. So if we had been able to Wasteland or drop, which in this situation is what I'm going to be doing basically 100% of the time, then we would have been in okay shape maybe. But, you know, we just drew a bunch of blanks instead. Feels bad. I'm not digging the red splash, folks. Like, it's cool and everything, but it's just not doing it at all. Not even against the decks that it's supposed to be there for. To be fair, we didn't play against Snow even a single time. But also, to be fair, this version of the deck is already pretty good against Snow, so it's not like we really need a lot of help in that matchup. So why are we just like distorting our mana base and making it less workable in order to fix a matchup that's already pretty good for us? Have I seen the newest deck in Legacy? Yeah, it's this one right here. Or wait, what are you talking about, Pokimogi? I assume you're talking about this one right here, aka the newest deck in Legacy. Band Hole Breacher. Alright, you have another delightful number for us. At least you're not playing Opposition Agent. The fact that everybody's so hyped about Howl Breacher instead of being hyped about Opposition Agent means that I'm a lot happier playing Reclaimer. If everybody were playing Opposition Agent, I don't know if we would be able to play this. It would be a lot rougher. Let's just say that. Alright, folks, that's gonna be it for this league. Thank you so much for checking out the stream. We'll be back for another one.